All right, let's go ahead and we can delete the dragon head. We don't need it anymore. Let's just go ahead and delete this. And delete. Oh, but by the way, again, polygroups. Learn them, love them. It's great. Go ahead and delete that. All right, so we're back now to our regular Dynamesh. All right. So let's take a look at really quickly. Let's take a look at some of the things you can look to do with the Dynamesh again. We haven't played with some of the things that I want to show that you can do with Dynamesh. I'm going to go ahead and mask the top part of the sphere. Shift F to turn off our frame. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and blur the mask. To blur the mask, hold your control key down and literally click on your mask. You see how it's blurring it? Okay. I'm going to control and click in the background to invert our mask because, again, what's masked can't be affected, and we want to affect the top of this sphere. Let's pull back a little bit. Let's get to our transpose tool, which is W, and I'm going to click and drag. And now I want to grab the middle one and just pull that, say, straight up. Shift F, oh boy, wow, did that really rack that. Again, the beauty of the Dynamesh is I can now go here. Let's go ahead and turn up our resolution to say 128. By the way, you don't have to do it in doubles. I tend to do it in doubles of, but you could do 100, you could do it 200, you could do it 337 if you want. It's just easier if you learn UV map sizes, 64, 128, 512, 256, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Anyway, so I've gone ahead and done 128. Now I'm just going to remesh. So control and drag a rectangle. Ah, there we go. Much nicer, much cleaner. All right. Now the nice thing with this is Shift F. Let's go ahead again to show you some combinations. Control Shift. We're going to click and we're going to go to our slice curve. Shift F. Let's turn that back on for a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead and draw one here. And it doesn't matter. Again, this is the slice curve, not the clip curve. So it doesn't matter what side the black is on. It really is insignificant. So there's one there, and there's one there. Okay. Let's zoom in. I'm going to grab... Actually, I don't have to. Here's what we can do. Using our edge loops, what's over here are edge loops. Let's go ahead and make sure we have edge loops. This is 4. And we'll just go ahead and click edge loops. Oh, that's right. We have to hide it. Actually, let's not. In this case, let's do a panel loops. Shift F. All right. So there we go. We've got that little edged line now. All right. But here's what I want. I want to do Control Shift. And then I'm going to go back to our regular marquee. Control Shift and then click, and I'm selecting the select rectangle. I'm going to invert by Control Shift and then dragging a rectangle in the background. Oh, but I forgot, that's right. Because it actually split it out, it created an interior for us. It actually has an interior. So we need to click that out as well. All right, for instance. All right, so what we can do is, in fact, I'll actually do it on this one too, just so we can see it. I'm going to click this one out. There we go. All right, so let's go for modify topology. We're going to delete hidden, and then we're going to close holes. All right. So now what that has done is we now have two completely separate pieces. All right. But here's the thing. With this, if I hit Shift F and click on one thing, I'm only selecting this particular polygroup. If I Control Shift and click in the background, we've got multiple polygroups here. We have a slight interior edge. Can you see that? Let me zoom in. See that? We have a polygroup there. We have a polygroup in between it. We have a yellow polygroup. We have this as a polygroup. We have a bunch of different pieces that are all now polygroups. And that might make it a little confusing. So one of the nice things about using polygroups is if you go down here, you can, in fact, you can make your own polygroups, yes, but you can also do what's called auto groups. If I click auto groups, it'll grab everything that's part of one object will become one polygroup. Everything that's part of another polygroup will become another one. All right? So there you go. See that? We now have a single polygroup on this one middle piece. If I Control Shift and click in the background, okay, so we have this piece which we don't need. We have this piece down here. We have this piece up here. Well, let's see what this one is. Click that. Okay. Oh, see, we do have two different backgrounds, or two different whole pieces. Let's go ahead and go for this and hide this one too. We don't need these extra pieces. I'm going to Control Shift rectangle in the background. And again, the beauty of it, we're going to go to Geometry and we're going to delete the hidden. All right. So now we only have these three groups. Okay. The nice thing is we can now grab a single group, mask it if we want to, Control Shift, invert the mask, Control click at the background, and now we can go for our move, draw a line, and we can literally separate that piece out if we want to. You know, we can move it over here. Oh, now see? Symmetry. Sometimes good, sometimes not, and that shows you what happens. Because we have symmetry on, it's mirroring what is being done, the motion is being done. So let's go ahead and hit Control Z and turn off by hitting the X key, turning off our symmetry. Now I can move this around. I can clear the mask. I can go for this one. By the way, I wonder if you saw what I just did. I cleared my mask and then clicked on this one. All right, what I'm doing is when you clear the mask but you're still in your transpose tool, it knows you want to do something. It just doesn't know what you want to do. So in order for me to grab a polygroup so I can move it around or do whatever I'm going to do with it, all I have to do is hold my Control key down and click on the item. That'll mask the two I'm not going to play with. All right? And then I can draw a new action line and I can move that, you know, wherever. I can clear my mask, Control click on it, again, redraw, move it around. All right? Again, functionality within ZBrush, the things you can do, it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And the beautiful thing is, because this is a Dynamesh, I can now, for instance, Shift F, I can mask this, invert it, do a new action, W, click, and I can click and drag this up. And I can do a remesh. And I just remeshed it. There you go, nice and clean again. Because it is still a Dynamesh. It's three separate pieces within the subtool, but it's still Dynamesh. And as long as it's still a Dynamesh, it still has all the Dynamesh functionality. I can still do all the things I need to be able to do with it. All right. Again, Dynamesh is a fantastic. I've talked about Dynamesh to students for years because it's literally endless. I really haven't found anything I can't do in Dynamesh. All right. So it's one of those things that I suggest learn it backwards and forwards, learn all the things you can do with it. You're going to be very, very happy you did.